Is this a Fortnite podcast?
Yeah.
I think this should be a Fortnite
It's just
podcast.
Fortnite.
I've never played Fortnite.
I got you to play Fortnite.
Yep. This is this is the Fortnite People Incorporated podcast.
Fortnite People Incorporated.
Hello, everyone. This is a podcast that we haven't named yet. So I don't know. You'll probably find the name in the thumbnail or whatever.
No, it's just going to be called Untitled.
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 Fair.
The end.
This is Glenn, the Dick of Tesco.
Surname.
He's going to do that to me. He's going to throw me
Every
under the
single
bus.
episode, and I am Oshin.
Do they even know what Tesco is? They better know what Tesco is.
I'm sure people know what Tesco is. Like, there's gonna be Irish people listen to this. Like, Con might listen to it.
Shoutouts already.
Yeah. Con, you better listen to this.
We will end you if you don't listen to this. We'll
I'll-
have him on as a guest next week.
Of course. So, we're first going to be talking about Fire Emblem Heroes for a bit, and then we're going to talk about some other games, and towards the end, there's going to be a segment for films. So, new Fire Emblem Heroes update.
I think it's pretty good.
Do you want to run through what's been updated?
Yeah, so basically they introduced a new banner. You know,
They did.
The typical every 2 weeks or so. And then they didn't update it to 3.0. It was 2.11. They gave us a new Tempest Trial, Tap Battle, Aether Raids, and all that good stuff.
Why is it Aether Raids? That annoyed me so much. I forgot to say this. Why do they call it Aether? Like
Okay, yeah.
Ayther, not Ether. Like,
True.
the
true.
skill is Ether, but this is Aether Raids.
It's spelled differently, I swear.
It definitely is not spelled differently.
Anyway,
Banner.
banner. The banner is. I think the banner's good.
I mean,
Except,
it has dragons, but also
oh, yeah.
fates.
True. It's the best and worst of both worlds.
Like, not only is it more fates characters, which obviously a lot of people have issue with, but there are still fates characters they have to add, but they didn't add new fates characters.
That's the problem. It's not new. It's just fate.
We got our, what is it, like 5th and 6th Karin alt and 5th Camilla alt?
If you like combine all the Corins together,
Yeah.
there's like 10 of them in there.
Oh god.
Oh my god, it's ridiculous.
So, anyone who likes Karin is probably happy.
Actually, remind me, I had a dream last night. I summoned a 2-star male Corin.
Which male Karin?
New Year anniversary one.
That's so arbitrary. Like, I understand if it was the base one or the new one.
No, it was a 2-star, and it was the New Year's one that we got for free.
God, I forgot the 2 stars even existed. Like, why did they introduce those to the game?
2-star Rice is baller, man.
True. 1-star Rice clearly outclasses him.
Yeah.
Wow. It's been ages since I even heard a Rice meme as well.
Dude, they still exist.
Heroes has changed.
It's gotten
Bring
so
back
much
Rice.
better.
Where is our Rice alt?
Well, yeah.
There you go.
Well, see, no, because he's the only person in the game from Shadow Dragon, because he wasn't in Mystery of the Emblem, and
Wait, really?
yeah, no, they straight up cut him.
Rice, no.
So if they made an alt, everyone would be like, "Who is this?" Well, people know him from Heroes, though.
Yeah,
so-
no, he's a meme already.
But I don't think IS would know.
Yeah, I mean, true. They seem pretty aware of their memes. Did you see the new voice lines for the new Camilla?
Nope.
They're a thing. Basically,
Oh.
the gimmick is that, like, oh, she's pure in this world. So her voice lines are like, you want to rest your head in my lap? I would never do something so obscene.
Ah,
And I saw the version of me from the other world. How she dresses. So embarrassing.
oh, so the way she dresses is embarrassing.
Oh, not it's perfectly what's the word, like innocent and serene and nothing
no way.
inappropriate about it.
I need to listen to these lines soon. Oh my god.
Yeah, they're a thing, but I saw on like GameFAQs or something when the new banner just dropped that like everyone was like, "Wow, Camilla's finally a good character." But like no, it just took away whatever character she had. She's a bad character, but not because of that.
Damn.
yeah, so that's the banner. Mikoto also exists, and she is irrelevant, and no one cares about her. Sorry if you like Mikoto. It's a bad
Mikoto,
banner.
Jesus. What did she ever do to you? Not
She-
get developed. That's
Yeah,
what.
no, she died 5 minutes in. Sorry, Fate spoilers, but
Spoilers. It's 5 minutes in.
yeah.
Nice. Where the hell is this document I'm trying to find? Ah, here
What's
we go.
the document? I haven't seen this.
Basically, they did like a report. Yeah, here it is.
Who did?
Nintendo, I think, and it
Oh?
was it was like a report on how well Heroes is doing, which I think they've made $400 million off of
Oh
Heroes
fuck!
in like a year
Wait.
and a half. And then they literally said we plan to make version 3.0 at the end of the year.
Oh right.
So, well, we knew it was confirmed.
I mean, yeah,
but
that would be
like-
like book 3 as well, right?
yeah, which they said at the end of
Yeah.
the last Fate channel. But it should be big, so if they already have it in mind.
I mean, what would they really include though? I feel like there's nothing that would really overhaul what the game is already.
True, but I'm sure there's something they can do.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, Aether Raids seems cool, but I really don't feel like it's actually going to change anything apart from like plus 10 Aversas in Arena. I hate Aversa.
What's wrong with Aversa?
She's so annoying to play against. God, like, bad idea. I wish people just run Rotterblade on her.
Yeah, but she can't. You know, her thing. The weapon threshold is based on HP, isn't it?
It is, but then in
And adjacency. So just.
oh, I forgot it was based on adjacency. But I don't know. See, the thing is, like, if you get chipped down by anything, Aversa's Tome starts kicking in, and like, God, I'd understand if it was panic or debuff. Why is it both? Bad idea.
I think she's a good unit though,
She is, but she's so annoying to play against.
and she's a free tone player. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
I mean, I'm sure a lot, but like, that's why you should run Rotterblade on her, guys. We don't want a versus Tome. I swear it's not good. What?
No, it's terrible.
Anything else from Heroes? I guess the Axe of Virility.
Oh,
Which
that's trash.
We have confirmed. There were some doubts. Virility does mean old, sexy man.
You know,
Basically.
there were some behind the scenes people saying, you know, does it mean this? Does it mean that? We have confirmation
So don't worry, guys.
from my ass.
Barter is a sexy old man.
We all
Don't
knew
worry.
this, but now it's just out there.
Yeah. I don't think Axe of Virility is that bad.
I don't think it's too good.
It's not amazing, but that's just because our standard has been like set really high by some refines recently.
True. If this was introduced like at the start of Weapon Refinery with like
Yeah,
Mistletoe, Eldigan's Mistletoe.
True. I don't know.
That'd be
Eldigan's Mistletoe is really good too, though.
No, I just went Dark Mistletoe.
I never refined him.
It's good. I never used it, but it's good. I swear.
Yeah, definitely. See, that's why you just run Ares.
That's why you run Sigurd.
I still do run Sigurd.
There it is.
Well, that's everything for Heroes.
Yeah, I think so. Well, Azura. I guess.
Oh yeah, new Azura. She is a free Tome Dancer Infantry, which is new.
She's getting plus 10.
Oh,
Right now.
I mean, yeah, I was kind of considering plus 10 here because I still need a good green for Arena.
And then you can give her
I still need dual infantry, yeah.
yeah, some Hellbindy.
Hopefully he'll get focused again soon.
I'm sure he will.
Hopefully.
I think it's crazy though that they just gave us a free Dancy.
Yeah.
I know we have Sylvia and Olivia. But
Was
like,
Sylvia free?
oh, well, not free, but she's 4-star.
Oh yeah, I get you.
But like, this is straight up 5-star. Like you don't have to promote it or anything.
Yeah, and like the fact that she's a tome dancer as well. Like
Yeah.
we haven't gotten a tome dancer since like Shigure and Inigo. I mean, we did get an Indian, I guess, but like infantry.
True. I
So
was gonna say limited time, but aren't they all limited time?
they are, yeah.
That just makes Azura even better. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing, like, I'll be running her with Erica probably, so she's gonna get that free boost. I could even run like Gromblade on her.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Like to have a dancer that's able to do some damage at least.
Yeah.
She's
true.
good attack, right? Like 30, 33.
Yeah, with her weapon it's 47. I
Ooh,
think.
yeah, that's good. I think her weapon is 14, so yeah, 33.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good. Well, that's it for Heroes, I guess. What do we have next up? I think it was
The main
event.
star of the show.
Here we go.
Fuck. Okay, so
It is indeed Deltarune.
I have no idea what
Oh.
this is. I have zero idea what this is. I've heard people compare it to Undertale or like involve it with Undertale in some way. I don't know what it's got to do with it though.
I have played Deltarune. I played it on the day it released, actually, 2 hours after it came out. And I had no idea what it was. I knew it was made by Toby Fox.
Oh, it's made now.
It is.
Oh, okay.
I didn't. It was branded before it came out as a survey to gather information. So that's what I thought I was facing into this. I was shocked. I loved it, and we're now going to take a pause. Glenn is going to play Deltarune, and we're going to come back and give you a good amount of feedback on it.
Wish me luck, boys.
Glenn, I'll ruin your Delta.
Oh my god, why did you look at me?
Alright, so we're back after completing Deltarune. Glenn played through it.
That was interesting.
Definitely interesting.
There was a lot.
I'd say it must be hard kind of forming opinions. Like, we literally just finished it about 30 seconds ago.
Literally, yeah. I'm just trying to process it.
I'll talk about it for a bit first then.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so, as I said, I literally played on release. I was expecting a survey, and, like, I was really... The fact that I wasn't expecting it definitely increased, like, the feeling for me. Like, I loved it. It's one of... it's been a while since I enjoyed anything that much, like, really. Like, I mean, I honestly think that I preferred it to Undertale because there's more character interaction, and the characters are amazing. By the way, there's going to be Deltarune spoilers here, so if you haven't played that, like, play it before listening to this or something.
Yeah, go play it.
It's good. Well, I think it's good anyway. I'm looking forward to hearing Glenn's opinion, but the soundtrack is also, like, as amazing as Undertale, I think. And, I mean, if you've played through the end, apparently there's going to be a chapter 2. And Toby Fox actually did, like, kind of a statement a couple of days after the game was released, answering some questions. And what he said was that he does plan to continue the story, but it was almost impossible to make that game on his own. That, like, the combat system is way more complicated. There is way more writing because there's character interaction and stuff. And he said he can't realistically finish the game on his own. So what he's going to do is actually try and create a team of people to finish it. So it's going to be like a proper team developed game now. And he didn't give a release date. He says he's not even sure if he'll actually be able to get it finished. But if it does get finished, what's going to happen is all the chapters beyond chapter 1 are going to be released at once, and you pay for them together. So it's just, there's going to be like one more game, pretty much.
There's one huge game with all the chapters in it.
Yeah. I think that, fair enough. Like.
Yeah, no, I think that's for the best.
Yeah. Okay, start off. Who is your favorite character?
In the whole thing?
Yeah.
I've
heard a couple of different answers to this.
See, I'm not sure. By the end of it, I think Susie is pretty well developed.
Yeah,
I
same.
didn't like her at the start. It just, like, she was just had no reason for anything.
Yeah.
And then just kind of at the end when she realized a lot of different things and, like, the friendship with Lancer especially.
I know, it's so cute. She's definitely my favorite character as well. She's just, she develops so much. She's good.
But yeah, I thought the king was weirdly hyped up.
I kind of get you.
By everyone, and then it just kind of was just a bigger Lancer, really.
I get you. So what, you didn't think the design was like as good as it could have been?
Yeah, I was expecting more.
Yeah, I get you. And as well as that, like, he was pretty easy, but, like, again, it's the first chapter of the game.
Oh, yeah.
So, like,
I don't mind that.
Yeah.
But I like a lot more of the character. Well, not more of the characters as opposed to Undertale, but the way I saw Undertale was, like, you start off, and then you do, like, you talk to Toriel for a while, you go on, you do the Sans and Papyrus thing for a while, Undyne. But then they all, like, kind of come together at the end, depending on the route. Whereas this, it was like, okay, Susie and what's his name?
Ralsei.
Ralsei. They were just like with you for the whole game, and like,
Yeah.
and with Lancer popping up, with like everything developed constantly throughout the game.
Yeah,
I
and
think it was interesting.
it's a different type of game. Like Undertale was not really about like character development so
No,
much
not
as
at all.
it was like, I mean, the point of Undertale was absolutely the player's experience, and it was all about how you interacted with the world.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Deltarune is much more about the characters that are in that world, and it's not so much you interacting with the world as, I mean, Chris isn't really a character, but like it is Chris interacting and making these friends, and also about how Susie and Ralsei interact with the world, and like Lancer by the end of it too. And all right, like, I mean, throughout it, you were saying there were really strong, like, earthbound feelings from it.
Definitely.
Which is, like, yeah, so true. It's, like, that idea of, like, a group of just normal people, like, friends, just going off on, like, a big adventure.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
And, like, because, like, there's super strong Homestuck feelings from it, too, because Homestuck is, kind of follows a similar concept. Possibly even more so, because Homestuck focuses very much on sort of, like, it takes a lot of elements from traditional RPGs, and which Deltarune obviously does even more. And also, I mean, one of my favorite things is all of Susie's themes have like elements that are really taken from Vriska's themes from Homestuck. I don't know if anyone other than me will notice that, because I don't know if anyone else reads Homestuck, but like I thought that was kind of a cool reference, because they're quite similar characters
Yeah,
in that, like,
they would be similar.
they're really like, they're kind of dangerous and like volatile, but like Susie definitely develops past that a lot.
Kind of back on the characters thing, I thought the ending when you go around and talk to all the Undertale characters was very interesting, because
Right,
it
because
wasn't really a thing in the first game where they had all this development, and now it's like whatever it is, an alternate reality or later on in the story, and like they have all these lives and personal things that are going on. I thought that was interesting.
it is really interesting. And like, I actually, when I played through Deltarune, I pretty much finished it, left the school, and went home. Because, I mean, like, yeah, I didn't actually experience that, so it was really interesting seeing everything. And the ending itself, like the very end, that part of the end, what do you think?
I mean, anything is open now. Like, the first thing that came to my mind was like, it's like the whole first chapter is linear, and then it gets to this chapter 2 kind of start foreboding thing, and now the next chapters and the whole game or whatever is going to be just completely different. And I don't know if it's going to start from that point. I think it'd be weird if it started off with this character from chapter 1 and then like they're evil or whatever.
Maybe, yeah, I get you. I mean,
but it would be fascinating to see what happens from there.
like, I mean, there's obviously really clear links between Chris and Chara, because like throughout Undertale, like Chara, through like weird little dialogue and stuff, like Chara's established that like when they were around, like they were weird and like they were a bit off, sort of like the stuff, like they tried to convince Azrael to like poison Asgore at one point, I think, with like
Something like that, yeah.
like, but it's established anyway that like Chara is weird and antisocial, and like people are a bit uncomfortable around them. And it's actually the same with Chris in Deltarune. Like, there's these lines like, haha, Chris, like, don't do that again, like with that weird thing where you hid under my bed.
Yeah,
And
it's very similar dialogue.
like,
Definitely.
Chris is weird, and it's established that, and like Toriel is kind of really surprised when Chris is like, they have a friend.
And
And
then the things I noticed as well is like, you know, like Chris's hair, like the way it's like the fringe, like you never really see his eyes or anything. And then even like the way he moves in battle, like he's very confident and stuff.
yeah,
like,
right.
Like it kind of gave like a sort of evil presence. I don't know.
I
That's a
get
bit
you.
weird,
Even
but,
just the fact that they don't talk, like,
yeah.
they're sinister a bit. But anyway, like like Chris is Azrael's brother in this world, so Chris is the direct parallel to Chara in this like alternate timeline or whatever it is. So it's weird, and like, I mean, we were talking as well, like you're playing through the whole game, and if you've played Undertale, you're expecting something to go wrong. Like, it's not going to be this really happy, wholesome journey that it feels like it is.
Yeah, no way.
So the tension is building, and then you get home and you go to sleep and you're like, wow, maybe it was just a nice journey and a nice adventure. But it delivers on that moment when Chris like rips out their soul, and like what
Literally, like the last minute, you're like, wow, if that last minute
Yeah.
wasn't in the game, you'd be like, wow, that was a really fun, enjoyable game. Now it's like, no, it couldn't have been.
Yeah, But like the thing now, like that's what's there. So I'm like you were saying, is that gonna carry into chapter two? Like, are you going to be playing as like? I mean, what is even the implications there? Like, what does it mean that they tore out their soul? Like, are they? I mean, you saw they were kind of like jerking around. Like, are they like possessed or something? And I don't know.
Yeah, who knows really?
It's
Toby
interesting.
Fox knows. That's it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be more chapters will hopefully be coming out within like the next couple of years. It's not gonna be anytime soon, but like we were all surprised that it even happened. So like if we do get more, I feel like no one is right to expect more anytime soon because like that was free. No one was expecting it. Anything from now on will just be like a more pleasant surprise, is what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, I think one thing I definitely want to see though in the next chapters is like Azrael getting involved because they have like all like so much of that dialogue was like like when you go over to the choices and it'd be, like,
yeah.
something like flowers or pie or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then the other there's like always Azrael. So like there's this big mystery like what happened to Azrael or like what is he doing?
Exactly.
What's his purpose? I don't know if anybody really explained what he's doing in college and stuff or
And then there's this weird link, like obviously Ralsei is Azrael rearranged, and they're both like the goat monster. And I don't know, like that's interesting too. I feel like that's not just there as a weird reference, like that there's some meaning there knowing Toby
there's a link
Fox.
there.
So yeah, do you have any like criticisms of Deltarune? Because I adore it and I'll probably be willing to fight them.
Oh god, here we go. Well, let's see. I thought the combat was good.
Mhm.
Obviously very similar to Undertale in terms of the
Yeah.
bullet hell kind of thing, and then I like the overworld stuff where like you have to pay attention in the overworld. Too. You can't
Interesting
just-
that they're bringing in sort of
Okay.
combat elements to that as well.
Yeah. Just I'm not sure. I didn't really do many of like the attacks and stuff, and I wasn't really bothered with equipment because I was just doing a pacifist run. But it was easy. Is the thing.
Yeah,
Maybe.
it's definitely super easy, but I think even
It was probably intentional, kind of.
we did the secret boss as well on this time, and like that wasn't easy.
That wasn't easy.
Nothing on the level of like I don't know, like I wouldn't even say it was as hard as Asgore really.
Oh yeah, no, you could finish it in an hour,
Like,
maybe if you learn all the patterns
Yeah,
and stuff.
like reasonable, but like more on par with the harder bosses from Undertale. And I feel like the fact Jevel's almost in there just to say like not everything is going to be easy. Like Jevel's in there just so there's something challenging in the game, and it's saying like we are capable of making combat hard with the 3-person combat system. So I think definitely in further chapters the difficulty will ramp up similar to like Undertale.
Yeah. I thought you said like the music was really good. I didn't think the music was that good.
Yeah,
Like
I'm surprised.
I don't think. Well, what's the circle thing? The K, the really bassline song.
Like the one that plays in battle.
Yeah, against the
Rude
boss.
Bust. Oh wait.
No, the boss against the guy.
Oh,
with
the
the
circle. Yeah, that's called checker dance.
Checker Dance.
That's
a good song. That's a really good
yeah.
song.
I was underwhelmed by that. I thought that was one of the worst like boss
No,
music.
I think that's a funky
interesting.
bassline.
Fair enough.
But then like, not that the soundtrack's bad, but it's like ambient kind of thing. Like if you play through the game and stuff, you're like, oh yeah, this really fits the mood of the game. But I wouldn't listen to the soundtrack just kind of on my own. Whereas like Undertale tracks, I could just play them any day of the week.
I downloaded the soundtrack and have been listening to it, so I am definitely not on the same page as you.
You're crazy.
Nah, okay. You know what I absolutely loved? The music. You know that part with Susie and Lancer, where like Susie is kind of, that's the closest she gets to snapping. Like that's just showing that kind of volatile character. And there's
the fight.
Yeah, but
Oh,
right before the fight, the moment before the fight, like there's a track that plays called "Imminent Death."
Oh god.
I'm gonna play it just there. I mean, it'd probably be shit quality if it actually comes through on the thing, but I just want to play it for Glenn mostly.
Oh yeah, the high pitch thing.
Yeah,
Right,
and then
right.
it goes like,
Yeah.
and then you go into like versus Susie, and it's all like the bass is like really kind of scratchy and like off of it. Like,
Yeah.
I think that is such amazing music. It just, it adds to the feeling so much.
Yeah, I felt like playing through it was like, it was very movie-esque with the sound. Like there was a lot of cues and there was a lot of
That's interesting.
things that overlapped. Like that kind of stuff. You see that in movies all the time, like horror movies, like all the high-pitched stuff and
Right,
all
right.
that kind of jazz. So,
Yeah, I feel you. That makes sense.
but that's good though because it makes the whole
Yeah, like
experience more immersive.
definitely. And see, also, like I played through it with earphones in.
Mm.
Glenn, we were like just playing it through the speakers of my laptop.
Your amazing laptop
Yeah, clearly the best. It's only about 4 years old.
that goes mute when you turn it to 100% volume.
It does. Yeah. But I feel like maybe I had a better experience with the soundtrack, like listen to it with earphones and everything. But no, still okay. Rude Buster though, you cannot deny that is
yeah,
incredible.
It's a good battle theme.
I like.
I prefer the Undertale one. Though.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no, I can't agree with that. 1 second, let me get up the Undertale one.
I
It's
think
on
Undertale
Bandcamp as well.
Undertale one is underrated. Nobody talks about that song. They
Yeah,
talk about Undertale songs. They're like, oh, Sans, oh, Undying, blah blah blah. They never mention the normal battle theme.
I
think it's
don't
fantastic.
even remember the normal battle themes. I'm looking it up now. I really cannot imagine that it's better than Deltarune's Undertale soundtrack. What's it called? And
Enemy approaching. Yeah.
Alright, we're playing it now. Oh. I remember it now. Like, it's there. Oh yeah. It's good. It's good. I absolutely prefer Rude Buster.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Rude Buster, like, it just like, oh, I've listened to that song on repeat for a long time.
Okay, that's a bit freaky.
Nah.
That's a bit crazy.
No, stop. It's good.
I swear it's good.
No, see, whenever I'm drawing or stuff, I always just put on music in the background. So I'll put on, like, I don't know, Rude Buster extended to 15 minutes, and it'll just kind of fade into the background while I'm drawing or whatever. But no, that's normal, Glenn. Stop.
No, Susie has a Monado equivalent called the Rude Buster. Kill me. Is that what he's shaking his head? We should kill me.
Moving on.
Moving on.
What's next on the list?
Let me check. Okay, forget me.
So what next we were gonna talk about
One's Justice.
Well, we haven't played One's Justice, so I guess that's not happening. I'll talk about it first. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a fighting game. I'm sure if you went back to say like the first Naruto fighting game, it was serviceable and it had the characters in it, and it was kind of janky. And I mean, on one hand, One's Justice is the first My Hero Academia fighting game. You can't expect it to be like perfect straight away.
Ooh, I can't wait to see where this goes.
But on the other hand, it is made like it was released in 2018. The standard of like, I mean, the same year we have Jump Force coming out. The graphics of that look incredible.
Is that coming out this year?
Is it? No, I'm pretty sure it is 2018. Maybe early 2019. Like either way.
Oh yeah, well it's soon. Yeah,
Like it's
soon,
the same.
definitely.
It's similar time frame. You also have like Dragon Ball Fighters that came out in 2018. I think 2017, 2018.
2018. What a great game, by the way.
I mean, that looks really good. I'm not going to deny it.
Game is fantastic.
And the fact is that One's Justice is not on the same standard as those games. It is
Ooh.
like I would expect this of maybe like 2015 anime fighting game. Like it's
Really?
it's janky, and the combat is kind of simple. Even the graphics are like serviceable. Like they're not amazing.
Really?
We'll play it afterwards, but
Okay.
like it's like objectively it's not an amazing game. I still love playing it.
That's interesting coming from a My Hero fan.
Yeah, and like I
you
do.
could actually see what it did. Like, but what about in terms of like representing the series? Like, does it represent My Hero well?
Okay, every character that's in the game plays really like they designed how the characters fight around their quirks really, really well.
Okay.
Like there's this one character, Kirishima, his like superpower is he hardens himself. And in One's Justice, you press a button and it gives him no, stop. He hardens his skin. He's all the skin all over his
I'm
body.
gonna name my Metapods after him. Anyway.
Yeah, sure. Okay, but how they did it in the game is a load of basically all his attacks have super armor. So
Oh.
he doesn't flinch if he's attacking, and you can press X and he just gets super armor indefinitely for like a certain amount of time.
Right.
And it's cool. Like, that makes so much sense for a hardening quirk. He's like getting hit and not flinching, and his attacks go through all like the opponent's attacks. It works really well, and he's really fun to play. Certain characters, I feel like they kind of took an easy route on. Like, okay, Tsuyu, she's the frog girl.
The one that everybody loves for some reason.
Honestly, I've come around on her. She's actually pretty great.
God damn it.
No, but like all of her specials are her shooting out her tongue. And
what's wrong with that? What's wrong with a girl spewing out her tongue?
Here's the thing. You have 3 special attacks on the ground, and usually doing those in the air gives them different effects. And all of them are her shooting out her tongue as a projectile.
What did you say her name was?
Tsuyu.
Tsuyu.
Like Tsuyu. Are you looking at a tier list?
You damn right I am.
We've looked at the tier list. I was playing this with Khan a while ago, and we looked at the tier list. Apparently Kirishima is trash. I still love playing him.
Yeah,
Also,
he's E tier.
Yeah. See, the thing is, he's really slow, so apparently he's just really easy to block, but I'm terrible at the game, so...
And there it is.
Yeah, he's still hard to beat. And here's the thing, like, apparently Tsuyu was really broken at the start. She had a combo that she could repeatedly do in the air, and she was, like, top tier, but, like, in the patch, they nerfed her, like, right down to the bottom.
It already has a patch?
Yeah, it was patched, and
Fuck.
I think it came out in Japan in August, so it's been out there for a long time.
Oh, okay, right.
I think like it was released in the rest of the world with the patch being the base game.
With the game, okay.
But like they nerfed people who are good like down to being trash, and like I said, like Tsuyu, I still really enjoy playing her. I just think they could have been a bit more creative with what she can do. And another issue is they included really weird characters. Like, there are some characters people love who are in the main cast, like Mina, Acid Girl, who they didn't include. But they did include a villain who was in the manga for, like, 2 chapters. And in the anime for 1 episode.
They have a bird.
They have a bird?
Is that a bird?
Oh, Tokayami. Yeah, he's got a bird head.
He just looked cool. They included All Might. What the hell? He never appears.
That's another... I mean, this isn't really a criticism because, like, it's a fighting game. He's not that great. He's pretty mid-tier, the strongest character in canon.
Well, supposedly he's in the second best tier.
Oh, well, I read a different tier list, apparently. It exists. It's not great, but it's really, really fun if you do like My Hero. And, like, I don't know. I played it for, like, 4 hours straight with my friend.
So out of 10, what would you give it?
I would give it a solid 7. Maybe 6, 7, somewhere like that.
And then, like... What about like when it comes to fighting game, there's always like 2 kind of sides. There's the single player and then multiplayer. So do you think the single player is good? Do you think the multiplayer is good? Do you think both are good, both are bad? Which would you prefer to play?
Okay, single player, the CPU in the game is trash. The worst in any fighting game I've ever played. It is not enjoyable to play against.
My God.
Online, I'm sure it's fun if you're good. I'm not, so I don't enjoy online that much. Playing it with like just a friend, like just sitting there with the Switch on, that is amazing fun. Like, that's what the game is for, definitely. So I don't think I'd recommend getting it unless you were going to be playing it with other people.
Right, that makes sense.
That's One's Justice. It's there. It's a My Hero game, and hopefully... I do think, like, given time, there'll be future installments, I'm sure. It's a huge, like, manga and anime. It's popular. There are going to be more, and they'll probably be better. So that's something to look forward to, too.
Interesting. Alright, so next you wanted to give a bit of opinion on Okami. So
I feel like I'm talking a lot. Do you have anything to...
Oh, sorry, I'll go on a tangent after you.
Okay.
So basically all I remember you saying about Okami was you bought it on... Which one did you buy for first? Was it the Switch?
I bought it from Steam Summer Sale.
You bought it on Steam and then you couldn't play it.
No, my laptop's trash.
Right, we all know this. And then you bought it for Switch.
Yeah.
And you said at the start it was overrated and it was nice looking, but the gameplay was I don't remember what you said, repetitive or bad or something. So what has happened now? I've seen you play it a lot more.
Yeah. I mean, I've been trying to beat it recently. I have about 25 hours put into it, and the game is about 35 hours. Like, I've gotten more than halfway through for sure. And like anyone I asked before getting it, Okami is like a masterpiece, like on IGN and loads of other games, which like I don't put too much stock in anyway.
Yeah,
but
true.
like
Call of Duty is a masterpiece. Anyway.
there you go. But most places like see Okami as an amazing game, and like it has really good reviews. I went in expecting a really great game, and it's like Glenn said, the graphics are amazing. It's like so unique in what it does. It captures its style really well, and like not only is like the graphics amazing, the environments are done really nicely.
Yeah, the way it kind of like represents Japanese culture.
It's
like,
so cool.
all the trees and nature
Yeah.
and cherry blossoms.
All
and
the
stuff, I
old-
think is so cool.
It looks amazing. Like you cannot argue that it looks really good. The soundtrack is nice. It's just kind of like, you know, what you'd expect, traditional Japanese stereotypical music, just kind of like wind stuff and all that.
That's the whole soundtrack.
Wow, yeah. But I really think it falls down almost everywhere else. Like, I'm sure people are gonna disagree with me, but
I've seen this guy do a playthrough of it. I've seen about
Yeah.
halfway through. I thought the combat was interesting. You don't like the combat.
no.
Okay, here we go.
It's really repetitive and it's not challenging at all. Like, you have a weapon, you get other weapons, which I was at first. Okay, you start off with a simple weapon, and every enemy you spam X against them.
Is this the disc?
Yeah, it's the disc that kind of swings around.
Right.
You hit X 3 times in a combo. Certain enemies, you also have obviously have the ink powers. There's a power slash which you draw a line across the screen, and it does heavy damage. Certain enemies, you'll press X a couple times, then they'll start to block, so you have to do a power slash to break their block, then
Oh,
continue.
yeah, I remember that.
And it sounds interesting. You're like, wow, this sounds like really interesting combat, but it's the same for every enemy. Like with every enemy, you press X a couple of times. Some of them you have to use a power strike to block their guard. Eventually, certain enemies are kind of weak to other ink powers, but you can beat them without using those ink powers. So, and they don't do a whole lot of damage. Like you just run around and dodge. Jumping is amazing for dodging. You're just pressing X and using random brush powers sometimes.
Don't you have like when it comes to the ink powers? Don't you have like a limited ink supply
You
or
do,
something?
yeah.
And if you use that in battle, does that carry over into like the overworld? Because I know you have to like.
Yeah, it refills
some
really
stuff.
fast though.
Oh, okay. That's
So
fine.
like it's actually not a big issue there.
Okay.
And yeah, I feel like there is a really cool idea with the combat. The idea of like integrating normal attacks with ink powers. It sounds great on paper, and I just don't think they developed it as much as they could. Also, like the thing to bear in mind is this was a PS2 game, I believe, right?
Yeah, PS2
Like
Wii game.
it was at the time. I'm sure the graphics were so
I
groundbreaking.
think it came out 12 years ago.
That yeah,
2006.
Jesus Christ! Like when you think about it like that, like it's not a new game, and I'm sure at the time it was really good, but I don't think it's aged well, and I think that a lot of people are blinded to really big flaws by how breaking the graphics are, and I think at the time it was the same. Like everyone focused on the graphics, and like even the story. Like I've heard a lot of people say the story is amazing. It's fine, and there's a lot of like really arbitrary fetch quest type stuff where it's like, oh, find a bit of paper so that you'll be able to give it to this person, and then she'll help you find treasure that will help you do another thing. But like,
So it's kind of like go from point A to point B, point B to point C. It's just
yeah,
kind of a
but
continuous thing.
exactly, and it's like none of it like that. You just have to find paper to make someone happy. That paper does not have any influence on the plot or like weight.
What do you have against paper, dude?
Ha! I hate
Come on.
paper. I swear I don't draw what. But yeah, it just feels kind of arbitrary. Like nothing really. It's like you're doing a load of unimportant stuff to get to an important plot moment, then doing more unimportant stuff, and the combat always feels like it's padding it out. Some of the boss fights have been really, really fun. I'll say give that to it. Like some of the boss fights have even been kind of hard, but they would be hard if you had less HP. Like by the time you get to them, your HP pool is so high, it's kind of impossible to lose.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that you say all that because that's actually very similar to what I think of Wind Waker.
Yeah,
And I think, they're both similar with the art styles, and like for the time
That's
they were
true.
groundbreaking, and probably everybody loved the story and
Mm.
all this. More so Okami though, because it's like very underrated and
Yeah,
not a lot
yeah.
of people would have played it anyway.
true.
But I I got to the second or third temple in Wind Waker. I could not beat it. It was so boring. I just couldn't. I had all these other GameCube games I wanted to play at the time, and I
Fair.
thought, why am I not playing Twilight Princess? Why am I not playing, I don't know, Majora's Mask or something? And like I'd seen a playthrough of Wind Waker 2013, 2014, and then I played the game 2-3 years later, and I just thought it was amazing back then. I was like, wow, I
When
really
you were
want to play
watching
this
the
game. Yeah,
video,
the Let's
yeah,
Play. I was
yeah,
like, wow, I
yeah.
really want to play this game. It looks really good. I've never really played a Zelda game before. Then the first one I played was Ocarina of Time 3D. Really good game. Bit overrated in my opinion, but really good game still.
I get you, yeah.
Then I played Wind Waker, and it bored me. It was just really boring. And I think, like, I heard a lot of that in what you reflected on, Kami. Like, I think the bosses are great in Wind Waker. I think, the story is one of the better ones for Zelda. But just everything else is really boring. And it's really
Yeah.
easy as well, in my opinion.
That's the thing. I feel like in general, like if someone is critiquing a movie, they're not going to say it's an incredible movie because like the script was really good, but the acting was bad and the sound was bad and the set design was bad. Like if someone is watching a movie, they take everything into account when
it's
they are
presentable at least.
Yeah, and it's like you're never going to hear someone call I'm trying to think of a film like I don't know, maybe like Transformers. That film has great special effects for its time. It's not a good movie. Like
Wow.
like it's
Wow.
just but it's like I don't know.
For one of these episodes, we're just going to have like a movie dedication, and you're just going to have to be like, here's my unpopular movie opinions, and then everybody slates you.
that can happen. I mean, we're going to be talking about a bit about movies later on. But like it's like that, like books and movies and all the forms of media are judged by taking everything into account. Whereas with games, I feel like people are so easily pleased, and it's like one thing
Yeah.
is good, and they're like, it's a great game, yes.
But then everything else is just terrible.
Yeah, and
No, overlook that.
Exactly, and I'm not enjoying Okami. I'm still finishing it because, I mean, there are some fun parts, and I kind of want to finish it so I can delete it from my Switch and install more stuff.
Nice storage, nice.
Yeah. And also, I have spent about €35 on this game by buying it twice, so which is
You
also
kinda
great.
have to finish it
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
Shame you didn't.
That's Okami. It's fine.
Have you ever seen the sequel, Okamiden? It's on the DS, I think.
Really?
I think it's more so a platformer. I haven't seen much of it, but
I can't imagine that on the DS. That's weird. I had no idea there was a sequel.
yeah. Well, if you ever have time to get around to that,
Nice.
I've heard that's just as good as it, and there's a lot of
Really?
improvements.
I can't imagine the DS making it look nice.
Well, I mean, with the art style, it kind of makes up for it.
Maybe.
But
Yeah.
It's not 3DS we're talking about, so it's gonna
Yeah,
look
yeah.
a bit bad. But
I might look up some footage of it and see what I think.
yeah, definitely do.
What's next?
The Crash trilogy.
Okay, so this is finally
I
Glenn's.
can talk. Hashtag freedom. Anyway,
So you've been playing. How many of these have you beaten out of the 3?
I've beaten 2.
Okay.
1 and 3.
I know very little about Crash, but I've watched Glenn play through them a bit, so I'm gonna be able to offer some opinions, maybe. Not very well founded, but whatever.
No, definitely not.
Okay, what do you think?
So basically, my brother bought the trilogy a couple of weeks ago, and it was always something I wanted to get around and play. Don't have a PS4. Was waiting for the Xbox One release, and I used to own the trilogy on PS1 a couple of years ago, and 3 is just an amazing game. Like it's one of the best games ever made. Period.
That's a
Straight up,
brave statement to make.
Straight up, one of the best.
Ooh.
And I hadn't played much of 1 before, and then I played a bit of 2 before, but it was
Okay.
just 3. Like 3, I was just grinding out. I was like, oh, I'm gonna 100%. I'm gonna get
Okay.
this and this.
That was the one I watched you play, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then the trilogy came out, and I thought, finally, I can beat Crash 1, see what everybody's talking about. I can play Crash 2, I can play Crash 3. So I played Crash 1, and I beat it. And everyone, do you ever see like the articles that came out?
No,
when
I
the
actually
game was
haven't
released?
really read anything about this game.
The biggest headline was Crash Bandicoot is now Dark Souls. Because it was that difficult. In
Wait.
air quotes is what they said.
So like they ramped up the difficulty from the first game, really? From the original game?
That's what people say. Well, the original was hard anyway. But people
Right.
were saying like, oh, it's so
And
hard, it's so difficult.
Is this only about the first game or about all 3?
First game mainly.
Oh, okay.
And I think I couldn't have died more than 20 times beating the game.
Yeah?
Which might not sound like.
I feel like this is just a brag, to be honest.
I'm just so good. Look at me flexing. Get a camera in here, flexing. No, right. There's like one hard level, and that took like 10, 15 tries for me. But then the rest of the game, I just flew through. Now, I'm not saying that the difficulty was all I played it for. The level design, the sounds amazing.
Okay.
The graphics, incredible. I compared it to the first one. I don't think you should ever play the first one in PS1 ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah, they made a lot of improvements. Like,
okay, that's good.
When you go through a level, if you wanted to get like a gem at the end, like if you want to 100% beat the game, you'd have to break all the boxes in the level and then beat the level.
Okay.
That's what you do.
Yeah, I think I was watching you do that.
Right. But in the original PS1, you have to beat the level.
Ignore that sound.
Nice. Knocked over your water.
Oh, 1 second. And we're back after those technical difficulties.
Technical difficulty. Anyway. So,
right, what were you saying?
Basically, in the trilogy, if you break all the boxes in the level, you get the gem at the end. But in the original PS1 version, you'd have to beat the level, breaking all the boxes, and without dying.
Oh.
And that's a bit difficult when you're going for all the boxes.
Okay.
Like, once I'd beaten the game, I hadn't gotten all the boxes in every level. So I was like, it's pretty well-rounded game.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Right.
And then I went for all the boxes, and like it got a bit difficult. But then more so, there was a lot of like really sneaky placed boxes and stuff. Like I had to look up a guide.
So
they were too difficult.
It's more just like its difficulty through like just making stuff hard to find. Yeah, that's not great.
But a lot of people still think like, oh, the platforming is so difficult, because I know what a lot of people were saying is in Crash 1 on PS1 and Crash 3 on PS1, the jump physics are different.
Oh, okay.
But in the trilogy, the physics are the same for all three.
Oh, okay. So they just kind of. So I'm sure they matched it to the later ones then, instead of matching it to like the earlier ones. Yeah.
So,
okay.
But they still did like the same level design, so they might be like. So a lot of jumps might be harder. In the trilogy.
Okay, I get you. So it's almost like the new jump physics aren't really optimized for the game that you're playing.
Yeah, which is a lot.
It's really weird.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird criticism and stuff, but I understand. But I think it was because I played Crash 3 so much.
Oh,
I was kind
you
of
were
like,
just more used to them, right?
Yeah,
that does make sense.
It didn't really bother me that much. So then I beat that game, and then I went on to 2, and then I played like a couple of levels of 2, and 2 was really good. I was surprised on how good it was.
What? Were you not expecting it to be good?
No, because nobody
really?
talks about 2. Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
They're like, 1 is amazing, 3 is amazing.
Oh,
There's a sequel to 1.
interesting.
What? But I played a few of it, and then I was like, no, I can't take it. I have to play 3. Like, that's my baby.
Fair.
And then I played it, and it's a very good game. Is it better than the original? I mean, I think it differs person to person. In my opinion...
What's different about the 3? So you're saying the original Crash Bandicoot 3 is one of the best games of all time, according to you?
100%.
What made it worse or what made it different in the new one? In the remaster?
For better or for worse?
Just what's different about it compared to the original in the remaster?
It's just nothing too different, I suppose. But it's weird. I don't know how to explain it. Like, yeah, the level design, the sound, it's all like brought up, redefined, and all that good stuff. But at the same time, like, since it is a remaster, it's not like a direct or a remake, I should say.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just new graphics or anything. Like, it just feels different, if you know what I mean.
Right. I get you.
I suppose it would probably be nostalgia as well. Like, I played Crash 3 so much.
That's fair.
So if I look at this new one, I'm like, oh, well, it is nice and stuff.
That can happen, yeah. It just doesn't match up to the original experience for you.
Yeah. Like, I'd say if I'd played this one first, I would say,
Right.
like, this one's amazing. Like, the graphics, the sound, all that kind of stuff. But there's, like, a lot of minor things in the original that they don't do. Like, there's this part in, like, the motorcycle sections where if you go up a ramp and then you fall and hit the ground, like, the camera jumps a bit and can, like, really off-put, like, your sense of balance and stuff and, like, where you are. But in 3, like, the original, like, none of that happened.
So it's just kind of little details. That's
like
weird.
the way
like
the camera is at some points, like some of the angles, some of the pans, some of the shots.
So do you think it's like laziness that they didn't include it?
It could be.
Right.
Or it could be like they just tried to improve it for modern gamers. In a way.
Yeah, so just kind of simplify certain parts, and like they're like, that's not really necessary. Code it. I get you, and the like in doing stuff like that for any like adaptation of anything, it can kind of damage the sort of heart of what the original had, and like what the people working on it put into it and stuff.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, I wasn't expecting it to be a pixel by pixel recreation of the original. Like that's never going to be a thing. And what we got is amazing. I still played through it, and what am I at? Like 80-90% of the game now complete.
Fair. What's the advantage to getting all the boxes and 100%?
I literally don't think there's any. There's a few levels you get.
Is it worth it?
But if you 100% those levels, I don't think there's anything. There might be a cutscene or something. You got that in one.
Oh, okay.
But it's just more so completionist kind of thing.
Yeah, I get you. That's not really how I play games.
Yeah, it's like the post game is the fulfillment of 100%ing the game. There's no
fair
big final secret boss or whatever. Which a lot of modern gamers,
that honestly, like, I don't think I'd have motivation to 100% something unless there was something like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I think I wouldn't mainly either, but it's just because I love the game so much.
Fair, yeah.
Like, there was no drive to play. It was really good.
Yeah.
So now I just have to go back and play 2. I mean, it's €40 for 3 remakes. That's a pretty good price.
Yeah.
If you wanted to play one of them, you might as well play them all. And it's mostly faithful. There's just a few minor things that pop out, but it's definitely a great series and collection and stuff.
Well, that's cool then. And it's out on, like, I know it's out on PS4, Xbox, and Switch, right?
I think PC too, maybe.
Oh, right.
Which is weird, seeing like PS4 not being exclusive to Crash.
Yeah.
Now it's on Switch.
It's good. So what you're saying is Crash Bandicoot for Smash Ultimate.
Do you not see Sakurai confirmed him as DLC?
Oh my god, I haven't seen this new information.
Crash,
Everyone, check your phones right now.
Crash, Sora, Banjo, Minecraft Steve.
Never mind. It was all. This is how we know it's not real. Sans.
Batman is Sans.
Batman's.
Bat Sans.
Sans man.
What?
This is the quality content you came here for.
This is what you really wanted. Is this what you really wanted? Oh my goodness.
Oh, kill me. What's next?
God, when will this end?
Now that that's done. This isn't going to be short. I mean, a lot of podcasts end up being like 2 hours, which this definitely isn't going to be. So
yeah, no, true. We're doing good. Next is the nostalgia section.
Okay, I said it. Basically, what we were planning on doing is every time we do an episode, like obviously we're going to be talking about games we've been playing recently, but I'm sure we both want to share our takes on games that we played a long time ago that we really like. So this is just kind of a little nostalgia section where each week a different one of us, or every 2 weeks or whatever, a different one of us talks about an old game that we really like. Glenn, have you decided what old game you're going to talk about?
I thought about during Deltarune, right?
Okay.
Because, the game from what I saw, it was mainly focused on not so much the combat, but the characters and the story and stuff. And that really reminded me
Drum roll.
of Undertale. No, not
Wait.
It reminded me of the Mystery Dungeon games.
Okay, I have never played any of the. Well, I played a bit of Super Mystery Dungeon, but I don't feel like that counts.
Count.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I played Sky over the summer, but
which one? What was that for?
That was for DS.
Oh, that was all. The really good ones were all DS, right? That's what I've heard. Right.
And they're also like a very slept-on series. Like nobody looks towards them. Everybody just says, "Oh, it's another Pokemon game. It's another Pokemon spin-off." You've got Shuffle, you've got Troze, you've got Link, you've got all these other ones, Rumble, and then there's Mystery Dungeon just sitting there. But I think like the story is just so incredible in the games, and I don't want to give away too much because obviously like I hate spoilers so much.
Yeah.
As Ricky said, spoilers should be a crime.
Ricky who?
Ricky from Little Busters. Anyway.
Ah yes, anyway. I understand that.
Go watch Little Busters. Anyway.
Oh no.
So no, the story is incredible in my opinion, and it's a linear story, but there's like I don't even know how to express it. Like I think the combat is really good in my opinion. A lot of people don't like it. That's fair enough. It can be repetitive, but the way like the characters, the Pokemon, are developed like it just, I don't know if it's actually good or because it's a Pokemon game I didn't expect much, if it's just like it blew me away.
Yeah, I get you.
But I think it genuinely is a good story. Like there's a lot of characters where like they'd come out of nowhere and then you'd be like, oh, I didn't expect this, and there's like a really big plot twist near the end, and literally the first time I played that I cried.
Fair.
I was probably like 6 or 7. And then I played it over the summer. And then I cried again.
No, that's why.
And I knew what it was going to be. And I was like, oh, man,
Here.
this is too good.
I'm pretty sure I cried at the end of Deltarune. Like, it's...
Alright.
Yeah.
You play a game for 2 hours and you get attached.
That song at the end was emotional.
It was like 30 seconds.
It was like 40 seconds.
No, fair enough.
I mean, big links to Undertale as well.
Yeah, no, true. No, I don't blame you that. But, like, I don't know, the story, and then, like, the sprites, really well animated.
Right.
The music is fantastic. Like, I could listen to the soundtrack.
Yeah, you've talked about this before, the Primal...
Oh
that boss
God,
theme.
that theme. That theme is amazing. I love that theme.
I've heard it, and it's good. Absolutely, it's really good.
It's one of the best songs ever made.
Ooh, another bold
Fight
statement
me.
from Glenn.
Fight me.
I don't, Beatles, I don't know who those are.
No, who are they? You know, Pokemon Company? Yeah, have you heard those? Great band. But, yeah, and kind of what I was thinking of as well when I played the game over the summer, I really want to play Gates to Infinity and Super Mystery Dungeon because I haven't played those two. And I haven't heard much about
Those
them.
are DS as well, are they?
3DS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there were more 3DS ones past
Yeah.
Super Mystery Dungeon.
Yeah. And I haven't heard the story being too great in those. But it's still Mystery Dungeon at the end of the day. I want to play it.
Fair.
But it really struck me one time when it was actually during the whole Undertale craze, right? When somebody commented on one of the Undertale videos when it was like, oh, it's so sad to know, like, I'll never be able to experience the story for the first time again. And I was like, okay, fair enough, but that's a bit weird. That's a bit sappy.
I understand though. Like,
Yeah, I
your first
understand.
experience in something can be powerful, definitely.
And literally every time, like, I think of Mystery Dungeon, I also think of that.
Right.
Because there's just, oh my god, like, I can't even describe it. It's just so well composed as a story. And then the gameplay isn't even bad. The music is fantastic. The graphics are amazing.
So the gameplay isn't even bad. Does that mean the gameplay is good?
I think the gameplay is amazing. But if I was to address it for other people, like if I was to...
It's kind of not the main focus of it, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right.
And it doesn't appeal to a lot of people.
Oh,
like
okay.
if I was to give you Mystery Dungeon,
By the
I don't
gameplay-
know if you would enjoy it. by
It's
the end
kind of
it.
that like tile-based dungeon where like I think I like that. I think it's good combat. It's original.
Oh, okay.
Like
Yeah.
I mean, I've only, like I said, I've played Super Mystery Dungeon. I don't know if they updated it for that or changed it.
It'd probably be similar.
Like as a core concept, I think it's pretty cool.
But, yeah, and then I think it's interesting. Like, one of the main characters in it is Grovyle, right?
I've heard a lot about Grovyle.
And like he's a Gen 3. What, that was 02, 03 when Ruby Sapphire Emerald came out. And like he was just a middle stage. Nobody likes the middle stage.
Yeah, he's irrelevant as like an actual Pokemon, is what you're
Yeah.
saying. Yeah.
And then he just comes out of the gates swinging. And he's just one of the most badass characters in the game. And you're just sitting there like, oh my god, this is just crazy. And then you have your main character who's like semi-silent. He talks kind of, and
Right.
then he has like these inner thoughts. And then you have all these interactions with your partner, and it feels like really personal.
Yeah.
And it's like, again, it's not just the story that it's focused on. It's like the partners and the other characters.
Right.
And like by the end of it, you can still go around and like talk to all these characters that you've befriended and stuff, or whatever you want. And then you leave the game and you're like, wow, like for a Pokemon game, that was a really good story, and it just blows me away every time I play it. And I wish more games would focus on that.
Yeah, I get you. Right. Like, I mean, I've never heard it praised that highly. I've heard people say a lot of good things. Like, I've heard whichever game Gengar is in, I've heard he's really good.
That's Mystery Dungeon Red and Blue. They're really good.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, it sounds like it'd be worth checking out at some point. Definitely.
I 100% agree.
Right.
I would say it's top 10 best games ever.
Glenn is making a lot of variables. I feel like this is
I
going to
don't have-
continue across all our episodes.
I don't have good opinions if you didn't know.
If you keep track, eventually he'll probably have said like at least 11 games are top 10 games of all time.
Yeah,
And you'll be able to challenge him on
flame
that.
me on it. Watch. My God.
Okay, so that's what you have to say about the nostalgia stuff?
I gotta go play it now, yeah.
Damn. Oh, this is going to happen whenever one of us talks about an old game that we love.
One of us is gonna cry. We'll be like, I just remember what. Oh no, I gotta quit. I'll see you
Damn.
tomorrow.
Is that all the games that we're going to talk about?
I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
okay. Well, that's all the games. We're going to move on to a short section about movies, which this week is going to be pretty much just me, because Glenn isn't the biggest fan of movies.
What are you talking about? It's just gonna be me talking. I know all the movies,
So
and you know nothing.
Ah, true. Glenn, Ace Ventura fan.
I've never seen Ace Ventura. That's why they call me that. That's why.
That's it. Yeah.
That's why. Yeah. Not because I love it. I hate it. I've never seen it. I hate it.
I don't even know if you like it or not. I just know that
I
that
think
was.
it's a good movie. I think it's a good
I just
movie.
know that after many conversations with you about how you don't think movies are worth watching, I came over to your house one time and you slapped on Ace Ventura, and it was the first time I'd ever seen you express any interest in a movie. It was surreal.
Wow. I'm glad you got to experience that.
So, okay, this was recorded a little bit after Halloween. 11 days. Wow.
Oh, a little bit after. Half a month.
Half a month, 11 days.
Yeah, that's nearly half a month.
Months are 22 days, guys.
What? Yeah, well, it's nearly 16 days.
Huh.
Fuck.
I feel like this is... Anyway.
Talk about your movie.
I watched a couple of horror films. First of all, I watched The Thing the night before Halloween. The Thing is...
The Fantastic Four?
Huh? No. I mean...
big orange guy?
Nah.
You got his own movie?
Okay, Glenn does not know what The Thing is. It's like a movie from the 80s, I believe. It was... I mean, the core concept of the movie is that it's a monster done without any special effects. There is no special effects. All the effects they use, which are very ambitious, like they portray the monster doing a lot of things, but they're all through practical effects. So you have like animatronics and like kind of liquidy effects and all this stuff, and like melting plastic in certain scenes, like, and it's known for just having probably the best practical effects of any movie ever.
Wow.
I mean, I'd heard great things about it. A really close friend of mine loves that movie, and I went into it with like really high expectations. And at first, I was kind of like, "Damn, this is a bit cheesy." The script, like, I mean, there's like this. One of the first moments is like this guy playing chess against a computer. Then he loses, and he just like stares at the computer and like pours drink in it or something. And you're like, okay, this guy's our main character. It's just, it's done in a certain way, and all the lines he says, you can almost predict them before he says them. And I'm like, God, this is just so predictable. The writing is not great. And pretty soon, I'd say about 40 minutes in or less, half an hour in, you realize that like the actual dialogue is not what's important in that movie. Like, characters just start dying rapidly, and it ends up like there's not even a whole lot of dialogue in it. Like, there is just so much tension by the situation, and like that's another incredibly strong point about it. There is just so much tension. I mean, okay, slight spoilers here, so skip past this if you haven't seen it, but like the Thing, that like from the title, it's like this creature that can shapeshift, and anything that it kind of eats, it can turn itself into. And there's a certain number of people in this Arctic base, like completely outside of civilization, and it gets in, and it starts off as a dog, and it starts killing crew members, but then like it becomes them.
Yeah.
And pretty soon it's also like it splits itself into multiple things, and pretty soon like the concept is no one knows who's human and who is
Here's
part of the thing.
Right.
And like even you as the viewer, like sometimes you're left questioning if like main characters are like really themselves. And like, oh, there's this one scene where they're doing blood tests to determine if each person is like themselves or not, and like that scene is just so tense. Like, oh my god, I can't remember anything from another movie that kind of matched it. And then at the end, there is one of the, like, there are just certain sequences where they just go all out on the practical effects. Like, there is one where it looked like a guy is melting, and it's completely convincing. And this is made in the 80s. Like,
Yeah.
it's like a model of him, I guess, but like the flesh is kind of like dripping off his face, and like then there are all these like tentacles like kind of shooting out from him, and like, man, like it's kind of at the top of its game, like top of its genre for like body horror, for practical effects, and just the tension in that film. Like, I really, really recommend it. It's a good horror movie.
Interesting.
Yeah, you should watch it, Glenn.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he's definitely going to.
Yeah, definitely.
And then on Halloween night, I wanted to watch a horror movie, so I was in a call with a couple of my friends, and we were going to watch Alien, which I've seen before. Like, that's an amazing movie. What I didn't realize was that movie is actually from '79.
Yeah, it's very.
It's an old movie, and a lot of the kind of horror-ish parts, they're not scary anymore. Like, people
kind of outlived its time, right?
in that sense, in the sense of like, it's not really a scary movie anymore because the effects just aren't as good up there. But there are so many other elements of that movie that have aged incredibly. Like, what stood out to me, I mean, there's like the acting's good. A lot of the kind of the filming is really good. Like, there's scenes where like they're outside on like an alien planet, and like it's convincing for its time. Like, you're kind of shocked that they were able to pull it off that well.
Right, right.
Like, the sets are amazing, even like inside the spaceship. That's one of the strongest points to say. But anyway, what stood out to me most watching it for the second time was the sound design of that movie. And I think you mentioned something about sound design in a game earlier, like how Deltarune was kind of like tying together sounds and all this.
It kind of fit with the moment.
And like in this, it's not just the music in this movie. Like, there are like these kind of weird like clicking noises and like these kind of like really low repetitive beats happening, and like you almost don't notice them if you're not listening to them. And there's sections where people are on the radios to each other, and like the voices are kind of getting like cut off at certain points, and like really crackly, and like the reception is all going, and it's mixed so well. And that's like, God, that's kind of what makes it. I think the soundtrack is just so good that some parts are still kind of scary. Like, there's tension because like it's just built up through the sound. And I think it's easy to underestimate how much, like, I don't think horror movies would ever be scary without the sound design that goes into them.
Yeah, if you mute a horror movie,
Yeah.
it's just some dude walking around.
Exactly. And like in a lot of modern horror just relies purely on jump scares. And even those are nothing without the kind of big build up of music before them and all this.
Yeah.
But with Alien, it's not so much that. Like, it's just kind of this really low, like, quiet. And that's another thing. Like, that movie knows how to use silence. There are scenes where there is no sound, and those are some of the most powerful scenes in it. And finally, the soundtrack of that movie is by Ennio Morricone, who is, like, really, really famous movie soundtrack designer. Do you know?
Never heard of him.
Okay.
Anyway,
I thought you might, seeing as you study music.
Yeah, and I know all the Beatles albums. Anyway.
Okay. He's known a lot for like westerns, and there's this certain western song that like would be recognized by literally anyone if you heard it. It's like that kind of like do do do, and then trails off and like no. Okay.
You're just making a bunch of noises
Yeah.
with your mouth right now. I
Ignore
don't
that
know.
part. But like he's kind of just really, really famous, and I had no idea he worked on Alien. I'm pretty sure it's his only horror film. I'm not sure about that, but like, God, the sound of that movie is just really, really good, and I think I'd recommend it even just for kind of appreciating that. I can't think of any other movie apart from Hereditary, which I watched recently and might talk about at some future podcast. That's another horror film with great sound design, but yeah, that's for another time. But
God damn.
sound design, it's good. Yes.
Interesting. So, what do you think was better, Thing or Alien?
I mean, I'd seen Alien before. I
Oh,
hadn't
yeah,
seen
true.
The Thing before. I think Alien is better. The
Really?
Thing, they're both amazing. Like, The Thing delivers on so many fronts, and it's not even. I enjoy Alien more. I just think like there's just a lot of really great moments in that, and like it's just done to such. I feel like nothing lets it down apart from maybe the outdated visual effects. Like
Right.
there's one scene, I'm sure everyone's seen the alien, the kind of image of it.
Yeah.
And there's one scene where it's standing out in the open, slowly standing up, and you're like, oh, that's a guy in a suit.
100% a guy in a suit.
And definitely, I mean, the sequel, Aliens, is one of my favorite movies of all time, and they develop on the visual effects so much. Like, that movie is convincing. Like, they look like aliens. And it's not horror anymore. That's more of an action film, so it doesn't really fit this topic. But that's another incredible film. I prefer it to the first one. So I'd recommend that too. And like I said, The Thing is really, really good. It's delivered on so many fronts. But I think overall, Alien just does a bit more for me. I enjoy it more. And I think it does more to an incredibly high degree than The Thing does.
And what
If
does
you
it
get
go?
me. Huh?
What does it go?
What does the alien go?
No, what does the thing go?
Oh no.
What does the alien go?
Hey,
The alien goes.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Hey, I had no idea where you were going with that.
Oh my god, that is chronic. Anyway,
So Glenn, what does The Thing go?
it goes.
Okay,
That's it.
right,
Distant bombs.
fair.
I was sitting here thinking I'm not going to be talking about a movie.
Oh, this is a surprise. This is not on our plan.
About a week before Halloween, I did watch a movie.
Oh my god, he watched a movie.
And you know what movie it was.
Do I?
You do.
Tell me what movie it is, Glenn.
Scary movie.
Oh,
Listen.
I honestly,
Listen.
I haven't seen it. I can't
I've
comment
watched
that much.
How many movies? 40 movies maybe in my entire life. Not even joking. And I think that is one of the funniest pieces of media ever released. There's so many iconic scenes that I knew a bit of, but I didn't know the full thing. And once you get the context to everything, it just becomes so funny. And basically the movie doesn't follow like a set story that you're supposed to take seriously.
Already sounding very strong.
No, it's not supposed to be like a serious movie.
Okay, I got you. Yeah,
It literally like makes fun of horror tropes and
Right.
stuff. And like there's loads of scenes where it's like you expect things to happen and then they do it and then they're like questioning why it's happening, or like they make fun of why it happens.
Right.
Like there's a part where some guy is running up the stairs away from the Scream guy or the killer basically.
Oh, okay.
And like the piano falls down and he's like, why does it have to fall down now? And then the piano goes by and then he runs up and then like a grandmother comes out and it's like, why is this grandmother coming out now? And then like throws her down the stairs and stuff.
Okay.
And then like there's one part where like the camera zooms in close to this girl who's crying and then it hits her in the forehead and she goes, oh,
Okay,
get
yeah.
that thing away from
That
me.
actually sounds pretty funny.
And like it's
okay.
not, if you take it seriously, yeah, no, it doesn't make sense. Like it would take you
I
out of the
mean,
world
even-
in a heartbeat.
Like from an outside perspective, I can tell it's not something you're meant to take seriously.
Yo, no, not at all.
Yeah.
But if you just sit there and you're like, I just want to have a good time and watch something that'll make fun of everything, that movie does it in spades.
Okay.
Really
I
funny.
feel like in a future episode we can definitely talk about comedy films, because there are some. I generally don't enjoy comedy films very much, but there are some that are amazing that I definitely want to talk about. So that's definitely something to write down for the future.
Fair enough.
So, Scary Movie, a good movie according to Glenn.
Good movie.
Not
Not
gonna
scary movie, but good movie.
Hey, fair.
Fair. And the thing goes. Anyway,
Do we have anything else to talk about? I think that might be it. Is it?
that's all I have to say.
No.
That's all there was in the notes.
Well, okay. That
there-
seems like that's all.
Is there anything that's coming out that you're looking forward to?
Okay, coming out. I mean, okay. I'm really looking forward to Katamari Damacy. It's coming out on
Oh,
December
yeah.
7th.
Oh yeah! Wow, 2 really great games coming out.
Yeah, wait, what else is coming out? Like, isn't Smash Ultimate coming out on the 9th?
Is it 9th?
I think so.
Probably is. That
Yeah.
week anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Smash will probably take priority, but Damacy's out there and I'm gonna play it eventually. I'm so looking forward to playing it.
Why are you saying this to me right now?
Are you saying that Katamari isn't a good game?
No. I think it's weird.
Oh, I mean,
Not a good- I
it is
wouldn't say-
weird. That is a fact.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's meant to be weird.
It looks so fun, and like the music is hilarious. Oh no, like, hey, Even the mobile Katamari game was fun. That
There's
says
a
a lot.
mobile one?
There is. You're literally just rolling. It's like a runner game, but you're rolling the Katamari and it's getting bigger and you're picking up stuff. It's
Oh,
really fun.
I thought you use your phone as like a gyro.
Nah. I mean, you
God.
can, I think.
Oh god, no.
But like, it's still a runner game. Like, I don't know what you call Subway Surfers or something like that. Yeah, you can do motion for it, but it's a fun game. And if that's fun,
then the main series.
it's
is
gonna be great.
something.
And like, I've seen some. I actually have not managed to play. Sorry, play Demacia or anything. I've seen so many playthroughs of it. I've seen playthroughs of it and many other Katamari games. They just look like such like stupid, like fun that you don't really have to think about. And like, it's not something where you're coming. This game it really affected me. Like, I feel like there's a lot to be, like. It's just fun and stupid.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to playing it.
I see that.
You?
They dropped the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer yesterday about
Oh.
Winnie the Pooh. Oh my god!
Well, I haven't heard anything of this, so go ahead, talk about the new Kingdom Hearts
I'm
trailer.
not gonna talk about it much.
Go ahead, like you might as well.
Once it comes out next year, then I'll have a lot to say. If
Okay.
we haven't disbanded the podcast now.
Wow.
I will have a lot to talk about because that game looks freaking amazing. And then they dropped a trailer yesterday, and it was interesting because the main villain is called Xehanort.
Nice name. Is this the guy who Norts people?
Yeah, he Norts people. He schnorts
Right.
them. Anyway, and his English and Japanese voice actor died last year, I think.
Damn, that's a weird. Wait, like, was it the same guy or was it just a bad coincidence?
It was a coincidence that they both just
Oh,
died.
damn.
They died within the same year, like.
That's really unfortunate.
Yeah, because like the game, like 3 has been in development since 13. So you'd imagine they would have had like some of his voice lines done and
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh god, that
But
was.
now they just had to completely replace Japanese and English, and so it was the first time we heard the English voice actor, and he sounds good,
Okay.
but not as good as the original. But like the original was just
I'm sure.
so good anyway.
What was the guy's name? Do you know?
I actually don't even remember,
Oh.
but he's really good. And then this is the first main series where we have the new Mickey Mouse voice.
Oh, there's a new Mickey Mouse voice.
Yeah, his voice actor died in like 2010.
Oh, wait, was it actually voiced by like the guy who voices Mickey Mouse?
Yeah.
Damn,
Hello.
that's weird.
This game's got hella production.
I mean, I know Robin Williams actually voiced the genie in another. I've never played a Kingdom Hearts game, but I've heard a fair bit from Glenn.
It's a great game. Anyway.
I'll probably play it eventually.
You better. Anyway. That's coming out next year. Looking forward to that.
Okay.
Ultimate's coming out at the end of the year.
And we're both looking forward to Ultimate a lot, and I'm sure like pretty much most people listening to this are also aware of Ultimate and that it's coming out.
Do you see the tweet that Sakurai put out that they have all the fighters confirmed for?
Oh, the DLC. Yes, I did. Yeah, like they know who the DLC fighters are apparently, which is interesting. I've heard a lot of discourse over whether or not people who are spirits are going to be able to be DLC fighters.
I don't think that matters too much.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, I understand where people are coming from. They're already technically in the game.
yeah.
Then they'd have to do like their models and stuff. But
Mm.
I don't think it eliminates them.
I mean, we've never had anything like spirits before, I suppose, so we can't really say what the standard is going to be with them.
Yeah, true. But actually, now that I think about it, they aren't doing a ballot, and they already have the characters decided.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to be based much off of
That is
their opinion and voice.
That's true.
So if they have the spirits in the game already, and they've made their choice, why would they put a spirit then in?
Well, I
as
feel
an
like
actual character?
the only counter I can think of that is that if there was a character who specifically wasn't a spirit, it would be pretty easy to tell in certain cases if they were going to be in the game or not. They're like, huh, why isn't, for example, like, Banjo... no, they're probably... Okay, someone who's...
Banjo might
I
not
mean,
be a spirit.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They might not be a spirit. Who's something you... okay, say for example, a Breath of the Wild character got in. You're like, huh, why isn't Rivali a spirit?
True.
And you're like, oh, obviously he's going to be one of the DLC fighters. I think Rivali is a spirit, so that's kind of a pointless argument.
But like, there's so many characters for 5 slots. Even then.
I think, like, personally, I think it's quite possible that someone who's a spirit could probably become DLC.
Maybe. I think maybe. Yeah, maybe. We don't know. We honestly
Yeah,
don't
that's
know,
it,
but
exactly.
Could go either way. I think it'd be interesting anyway, DLC, and like none of them are going to be Echo Fighters, so that's really.
Has that been confirmed? Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's true. I mean, that's kind of what you'd expect from DLC anyway.
Well, Roy.
I guess, yeah, I guess. But in a game where all previous characters have been included, I think like
Yeah, no, they said none of them will be Echo
Yeah.
players, so
that's pretty good. I mean,
good.
definitely something to look forward to. Glenn, top choice, assuming like pretending spirits don't exist, top choice for DLC. You better not say Gino.
top 5 or top 3 or
Just
top 1?
Top one.
Top 1? Number 1 character I want
Yeah.
in the game that has a realistic shot. No, it's got to be Gino. It's got to be Gino. It's got to be Gino.
I saw. I mean, I don't think enough people know who Gino is to make that
A
possible.
lot of people know who Gino
Look,
is.
I saw an interesting tweet the other day, and it was saying like the Smash subreddit and the Smash community in general has this idea that like Gino and Isaac and all these are like, God, they're such popular characters. But when you think about Smash's market, like most of the sales go to just general public, like kids, just people who play and like want to have fun. And how many of them are going to know who Gino and Isaac are? They're actually really obscure when you look at the grander audience.
Yeah, I agree.
Who I want to see, I mean, I kind of just want a Breath of the Wild character, and I've thought about it a lot, and who I think is the most likely is Urbosa.
And there it is. And there it is. There it is. There's the
I'd also-
Urbosa. There it is.
I'd also love to see Shantae, but not especially. I just think those are great games. But no, Urbosa, she seems like a good choice. Like, she has been shown using weapons. She has her, like, Urbosa's Fury, the lightning skill, and all this stuff. Like, she feels like there's a lot of potential there. And she's a great character. She's probably one of the most fleshed out of the kind of side Breath of the Wild characters. Yeah, Urbosa.
Can you tell me the last game Richter and Simon were in? And K. Rool.
Hey,
And can you tell me?
I feel like that's a
you-
different story. Like,
Can you tell me?
Castlevania is a long-running series, and they are the forerunners of that. Like,
Gino's part of the Mario universe.
how many games has he been in?
2?
2?
Yeah.
Which ones?
Super Mario RPG. He's one of the main characters.
A minor game that not many people know.
A minor game?
Hey, I've never heard of it before this whole Smash Ultimate
You're
thing.
dumb. You're dumb. You don't have an SNES.
Hey, okay,
Do I have an SNES?
everyone in our audience, send in like comment on whatever this is in, saying whether or not you'd heard of Super Mario RPG before Smash Ultimate was announced.
One person is going to comment, so it's going to be 100% in either of our.
Either way, okay. If you already see a comment, make sure you do not comment. We only want one comment unless that person says they do know Super Mario RPG, in which case please comment multiple times.
Or please remove that comment. And then comment one.
Wow. Okay.
No.
So,
I think. No, because, see, here's my biggest reasoning for it. Ridley and K. Rool were asked since Brawl.
mhm.
So was Gino. Fair enough. Who
They're
knows?
more
That
relevant
doesn't-
than
that
him.
That doesn't make it necessary. I get it. But when you look at the top 3 people that everybody's wanted in Smash, since Brawl, it's been those 3. We've got 2 of them. We just need Gino. There are
All right.
so many fans out there for Gino. And Sakurai has even said that during Brawl, he tried to get Gino in, but he just couldn't get it in. Now, he's on better terms with Square. They have Cloud in the game. And have you seen the Vergiben leak of
The Witch?
Vergiben? He's like a really he basically leaked like Incineroar. I think Simon.
I didn't even realize Incineroar was leaked at any point before he was announced.
Oh yeah, he was.
Damn. Okay.
But he has really reliable information, and he said that for DLC there's going to be another Square Enix character at least.
Huh.
I don't know who that could be. Everyone's saying it's either Gino or Sora. I love Sora. I don't think it'll be Sora.
I hope it's not Sora.
I think it'd be dope, but I don't think it'll ever happen. So I'm not getting my hopes up. Could be Gino. Could be.
I mean,
Is there another Final Fantasy character?
I would love to see another Final Fantasy character. I'd love to see Black Mage. I would really love to see the Black
Yeah.
Mage.
Eh.
If we're getting a Square Enix character, I mean, hey, I'm also an enormous Dragon Quest fan. I would love to see a Dragon Quest character getting in. But
Everyone wants Slime to get in.
that would be hilarious. I'd be so down for that.
That'd be
But
dumb.
the thing about Dragon Quest is they're not character-driven games. I can't think of like an incredible character from any one of those games.
Villager.
Hey, true.
Villager has a lot of development.
All right, if we were going for it, I would love to see the Celestium main character from Dragon Quest IX. Best game of all time.
And there's your controversy.
There we go.
Nice.
That's Smash Ultimate, I guess.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I think we're gonna get a couple of leaks of DLC. Maybe not now, like probably post-launch, so
Okay.
we can talk about that soon.
Yeah, and I think like if leaks come up, we'll talk about it, and also at some point in the future episode, we'll just have like a big discussion on Smash Ultimate and what we know so far.
Definitely.
Okay.
And once we get to play the game,
Oh,
we'll
you
spill
better
our opinions.
believe there will be a lot on Smash Ultimate once we start playing it.
There are a lot of opinions, yeah.
So that's all pretty much.
Yeah. There you go.
We don't have like a catchphrase to end with because we don't have a name for this yet.
There is no catchphrase. Catchphrases don't exist.
Catchphrases don't exist. Well,
Do you ever think that every word we say is just a phrase? Like when you say hello, that's just a phrase. You say it in the morning to greet someone. Hello.
that's the end of the podcast.
That's the-
Bye.
Bye.